Well, I suppose I need to make this review as short as humanly possible because I'm reviewing one of the Oscar-nominated shorts this year, and if my review was longer than the film, then that would not be good. So, hi, I'm Mac from MacMovieGuy.com, and this is a review of When We Were Bullies, which is currently available on HBO Max. Just to let you know, I'm a blind film critic, although I don't think that would have mattered with this film. I don't think I missed out on anything. This probably could have worked as a podcast. So, I didn't like this. I'm just going to state that up front. I have, my own personal experiences from, I guess, the other side of the table of this story. And I was thinking about it from that perspective. And so I have a lot of thoughts. So When We Were Bullies, actually, I remember when I first heard about this film, and I thought it was actually the other way around. I thought it was a guy making a film about being bullied, and he was going back and interviewing those who bullied him to see where they were at in their lives, type of thing. It's not that. It's literally a guy who was a bully is making a film about how he feels really bad about this time that he was a bully and beating this kid up, and then he interviews some other people and they all feel really bad now for being bullies. So he's telling the story about this time that him and his classmates beat the crap out of this kid, and they don't even really remember the reason, and he just recounts this whole thing from his bully perspective. And the world does not need this film. You know what I'm saying? This world did not need this film. You don't get to make a film and get nominated for an Oscar because you feel super sorry about being a bully. No one cares. If this was the other way around, if this was anything else, this film wouldn't even exist. The daring fact that the Oscar voters were yes, this is highbrow and we need to Oscar nominate this is really stupid. Because if this was any other situation where the bad guy was making a film about how sorry he was, nobody would give a shit. No one. In any other situation, if this was a film about a drunk driver who decided to make a film about this one time he accidentally ran over a kid and was trying to explore it, and was oh, I feel really bad, so I'm gonna make a film about the time that I hit the kid with my car. Oh my god, I got an Oscar nomination? What? No, that doesn't happen. That doesn't happen for anything else, so why would it happen for this? Why does this guy get to make a film about this time from his childhood when he was a little shit and beat some kid up, and his friends did, and then they interview the friends. This one lady's I don't even remember why I didn't like him. He was touching my desk. So this one day, I brought a pin into class and I stuck it into his hand. And I'm what the fuck is this movie? And why did we nominate this shit for an Oscar? Were there only 5 nominees possible in this category? So they had to nominate it? What didn't get nominated in favor of When We Were Bullies? I would be so offended. This movie is fucking terrible. I hate this film on just an idea and concept alone. The gall, the attitude, the everything that you have to make this film. There's even a part in the film where he's I was contacted by Richie or whatever the kid's name was, and he's I heard you're making a movie about me. I'd really like to see it. And he's oh, well, I don't know, dude. I don't know if you want to see this. It's a pretty, he said, yeah, I'm a TV producer, and, yeah, I'm good. And so he sends it off to him, and then he just doesn't hear back. That's your cue, dude. It's not your story to tell. I know you feel like it is. I know a lot of people feel probably that their viewpoint is valid, but sometimes it's not a valid viewpoint. Nobody wants to hear from the school shooter years down the line about how bad they feel for walking in with a gun to a school. Nobody wants to hear from the asshole in any event. Nobody wants to hear from those people. It's not your story. It's the other person's story. And if he doesn't want to tell it, and if he doesn't want to make a documentary about it, That's his story to tell. That's his documentary. That's his Oscar nomination to go after if he wants it, not yours. So, on principle alone, yeah, I didn't like this film. I I wish this film didn't exist. So, that's my thought on the film. This film offends me in its existence. I know that's going to be personal because of me being on the other side and having been bullied at points in my childhood, and thinking about where would I be if one of my bullies was like, I'm going to make a film, and then seeing them getting Oscar nomination for it, I'd be like, what just happened? Like, that's my, they made a film about beating me up and it got nominated for an Oscar? Like, what is this? I mean, like, I know they're all like super sorry now because they're adults and like they've grown up. They've done a lot of soul searching. And it's like, cool. Go do other things, Don't do a self-serving project where you let the world know how sorry you are. Like, this is stupid. This is not going to fix bullying, by the way. There are not like a bunch of kids watching this in like middle school classrooms who are like, wow, so you mean when I grow up, I'm really going to resent the fact that I attack this kid every day in the hallway and I might make a documentary about it one day? Oh man, I need to stop. I hate documentaries. Oh God, that's my future? I'm not doing that. Nobody's doing that. So, When We Were Bullies is functionally as an existing project. I thought it was stupid, and I hate the Academy for nominating it. As far as its audio description, which it actually has, one of these days I'm going to find a bad film that also has bad audio description. It always seems to be good films that have good audio description. So I have to give When We Were Bullies props on the audio description end because it's a short film, first of all. The fact that we even bothered, I mean, there's so many classic films that still have no audio description on it. So the fact that this shitty little 35-minute documentary short has audio description on it, but yet I could reach back in the film time and be like, hey, why don't we audio describe this film? And people will be like, what? That movie's like 30 years old. And I'm like, yeah, it's a classic. Why don't we audio describe it? The fact that this piece of shit has audio description on it frustrates me. And the fact that it's good frustrates me also. But it is good. To compare it to something I saw recently, Apollo 10.5 with Space Age Childhood, both of these films rely heavily on narration for like first person narration. Obviously this is real and the other is not, but he does talk a lot as the filmmaker, so he is narrating what's going on, and then on top of that you have a lot of interviews that are coupled in here, so a lot of things that don't necessarily need to be narrated and or are self-narrating, but however in between is the narration, and actually I've tried to fill in these parts. It felt less hands-off. It felt less like it leaned in on the actual narration within the film, and just did its own thing. It just sort of ignored, whereas Apollo 10.5 felt like it was it was using the narration as part of the audio description. Like, it was like, well, the narrator already said it in the movie, so, I mean, do we really need to explain anymore? We'll just, I mean, there's a point where we have too much audio description, I guess, and it's like, no, keep going. He doesn't say everything. So, yeah, this frustratingly actually has decent audio description on it, so not that it really matters, not that anybody should see this, but whoever did the audio description, thank you for continuing to create quality content. Please actually describe something like worthwhile next time. Like, there are classic films. If we could maybe get one of those up instead of When We Were Bullies. I can't imagine anybody wanting to watch this 10 years from now. So it's just frustrating. Anyway, yeah, don't see this. I hate this film. I hate its existence. Yes, it has a lot to do with, but I can't separate it. You know, maybe there are people who can look at this objectively and maybe they'll find some quality in like the direction of the film or how he chose to tell the story or the camera angles or some dumb shit. I don't know. But the fact that this film exists annoys me and I can't get past that. Sorry. This is one of those films. It's just one of those films where I get, if I have like a joker in my deck, like a special trump card, like a wild card that I just get to throw down and be like, I get to hate this film for personal reasons alone. For personal reasons, I get to hate this film. This is that film. Take it for what you will. I don't think this film should exist. I'm reviewing it anyway, but I'm going to give When We Were Bullies an F. Yeah. I disagree with the entire concept and the existence of this film, and I wish it didn't have an Oscar nomination. So, obviously it has an Oscar nomination, so some people were like deeply moved or something by it. Maybe you will be too. I don't know. It's your own experience, it's your own story. I would hate to be the kid in this and have my story told by other people, or even feel like that somebody else had gotten the ball rolling and they were going to do it anyway, so I had to like jump on the project. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not their choice, it's not their decision to make. It's somebody else's story. It's not yours. So that is what I believe about that. So anyway, let me know what you think about When We Were Bullies in the comments. I'm sure nobody's seen it. Most people don't watch the shorts, but if you do, let me know what you think in the comments. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I hope this is shorter than the actual short itself, but if you want more from me, go to macmovieguy.com and find more movies that are audio described other than this one on the audio description project. Until next time, don't make films that are not your story to tell.